Another season completed. Thank you for listening to the People's Podcast. You can always find the People Podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, anywhere you get your podcast. Like and subscribe on YouTube. But this season is focus. Focus. This show, we didn't intend to offend anyone. We hope we didn't offend anyone in their lifestyle. But we want to keep it on the basis of reality and what we're dealing with in the world as humans. So we didn't intend to offend anyone at all. So that was not our intent. But our intent was to speak to the facts of focusing on your mind, focusing on your heart and your body. And that's it. 2025. Happy New Year to everyone. Keep listening to the People's Podcast. Thank you.
Power to the people if you understand, sing for me. Yeah. Power to the people if you understand, sing for me. Say you feel me. Power to the people if you understand, sing for me.
Hello, welcome to another episode of the People's Podcast. I'm your host, Ismail Shahid. Hope all is well. All praise is due to Allah Almighty, our Creator, and our Master Muhammad. Peace and blessings of Allah be upon him. We've made it through another show. We made it through another season. Season 3 has ended, and I hope we've conveyed enough information. What we wanted to do with Season 3, and the reason why I dedicated it to my father, is because we wanted to give some background story on, my upbringing, on the things I've experienced in life, so that you know more about myself and what we're doing, what we're trying to do with the podcast, and how far we're trying to take this podcast. We're giving good information, good sound information. So, Season 3, which I dedicated to my father, may the Almighty be pleased with him. He's no longer here with us. We just recently, as a family, got together and remembered him. Remembered him on the day that he passed, December 20th. And he meant a lot. He meant a lot to a lot of people. He meant a lot to us. And he meant a lot to people. Some people I don't even know. A lot of people I don't even know. So we got through another season. I hope we conveyed enough history of our background, where we coming from, our family and him, and how I was brought up. Excuse me. Although I made mistakes throughout my life, a lot of them. Although I made mistakes throughout my life, I've always remembered what he's taught and how he raised me. I feel rich. I feel rich with people, not money. You have money, you do what you can to create a living for yourself and your family. I'm a plumber, 30-year plumber. So I make good money, but I feel rich in a different way. I feel rich with people because a lot of people don't have the opportunities that I have, and I feel blessed. I've had 2 good parents. I had a spiritual guide to share, community, uncles, nephews, nieces, aunts. I've had so many good people around me. I had the opportunity to have a lot of good people around me, and still I've made mistakes. And still I made huge mistakes. But the reason that I was able to recover is because the people around me and the guidance that I was given, so the reason behind my podcast is that I want to actually give the same, maybe redirect you in a different way. So now that we got our history out of the way, we've given our history, we've told my history, I hope we did enough. I knew in starting the podcast that I was going to have to give a little bit about myself. And when I was younger, I didn't like talking. I didn't like speaking at all. I didn't like talking. I didn't talk much. I didn't anything. So it was difficult for me trying to start a podcast because you're going to have to be personable. You're going to have to, give a little bit of yourself. So, I hope I've given enough and we could go into the next steps of where we want to go with the podcast. And I'm only offering advice, just like anybody else that has a podcast. I'm offering advice, maybe more so because you got these podcasts, so many people out here, and I don't want to down anything that anybody's doing. To each his own. I don't want to down anything that anybody's doing. It may be positive in the world. There's a lot of good positive things going on in the world besides, your own surroundings and your own interactions and things that you're doing. So I don't want to down anything, but there's so many, everybody's just saying whatever they want to say, and these professionals, and hey, listen, and these people, the most important thing, what we want to go into with season 4 is how to keep your peace of mind. How to keep your peace of mind. Hope, everybody, 2025, Happy New Year. I hope you achieve the things that you want to achieve. It's very difficult. You have New Year's resolutions and things that you want to do, and all of a sudden you're writing it down. I want to lose weight. I wanted this. I wanted this. I wanted this. And all of a sudden at the end of 2025, 2026, you haven't achieved anything that you said you wanted to do. So how do you keep your peace of mind? How do you have good relationships? How do you, obtain the job that you wanted, or the wealth that you want, or the things that you want, or the health that you want? How do you do it? There's so many devices in this world for us that are distractions, and the internet being one of the hugest distractions that we have right now, and amongst other things. But how do you keep your peace of mind? That's the question. How do you keep your peace of mind through all of this that we have to go through? Now, when we were young, going back into history, we had big wheels. We could ride down the street. We could do this here. We could play hopscotch. We could play skelly in the street. We had imagination. We had people called you. People knocked on your door. You coming outside? You coming outside to play? Nowadays, it's different. So you have to adjust because we live in, times change, history changes. So you change and adjust with history. So now we have all of these things that we have at our fingertips. And, which is the phone. Phone is a handheld computer. Everybody got everything at their fingertips. You scroll. And I caught myself scrolling one day. And if you have a social media, you know what scrolling is. And you know how difficult it can be when your mind could get distracted. You know how your mind can get distracted with scrolling. So I'm scrolling, right? And I get caught scrolling. And I'm telling you this much, I despise it. I don't like scrolling. If I get caught scrolling, right, I put the phone down. If I get caught on something now, I'm like, what the heck is this? What the heck am I watching? What in the world am I looking at? Let me put this phone down. It's done. Social media is done for that for hours and hours. Sometimes I spend days not on social media. So I'm scrolling, right? And I know many may have seen this, which is probably a big thing on social media. I know many have seen this. And there was this video. I was scrolling. And at that time, or after I saw it, I stopped scrolling. There was this video, right? And this guy, cool guy. He got shades on, glasses. He's walking down the street. And he has these two women in front of him. They look similar. They got chains wrapped. Like both of them got chains on their neck. And he's walking them like they, his dog or whatever. Right? And I'm looking at this, right? When I saw it, something clicked in my mind. I said, this stuff is like an experiment. Now, somebody somewhere else is recording, watching these people walk. This cool guy on the phone, he's walking, he's, I'm cool. I'm the coolest guy in the world. I got two women, I'm walking them like they my dogs. It's social experiments. These are social. I said, this is a social experiment. Because, excuse me, because everybody's recording, everybody's watching, nobody's saying nothing. Nobody's saying, yo, what the heck is wrong with you? What, you look stupid. Nobody's saying that. So everybody's recording, everybody's watching, and somebody else is recording, everybody recording and watching and seeing what they, social experiments. This stuff is distractions. This stuff is absolute distraction. How are you going to keep your peace of mind being distracted in such a way? How are you going to do it? Everybody says, they they want good things in life. They say, I want a good relationship, I want wealth, I want health. Let's keep with those three things, right? And there's debatable arguments on how you achieve these things, right? Good people around you, good relationships, this and this and that and that. You could go on, and it's debatable. Everybody will have their own way of because again, I feel rich with people that I've had around me, and I know everybody has not been awarded or had the opportunities that I've had, and I squandered them sometimes at some point, but still was able to recover. And a lot of people can't recover. There's a lot of people that can't recover from the things that they're dealing with. So I know, and in saying that, you look at all these things you want, and everybody will have their own way on how they want to achieve them, right? But if I can offer some little bit of advice on how we can have peace of mind and still enjoy life. And a lot of people think that and a lot of people think Muslims are so strict and rigid. There's a guideline. There's a guideline. There's a basis. There's a manual. My teacher, my sheikh will tell me there's a manual. Tells her there's a manual. There's a manual to life. You buy electronics. You buy a table. You buy you buy a coffee table. You buy end tables. You buy all types of things, right? These new TVs now, they have to be programmed. You have to program these TVs. I don't know how you're doing it without a manual. So you buy these things. Once you open the box, on the top, it's a plastic bag. Inside a plastic bag, there's a paper bag, a paper book. There's a manual that tells you how to put these things together, right? The TV, it tells you how to program step by step, 1 step, 2 step, 3 step, 4 step by step, how to program that TV. You don't just open that box and say, there goes the manual. I'm going to figure this out on my own. So there's a manual to life. That's what my teacher would tell me. There's a manual to life. And those who follow that manual stay the course. You say everybody's not perfect. No. Everybody's not perfect. Everybody's not perfect at all. But what we try to do is follow that. And the Holy Quran is that manual. And the Sunnah of our Prophet is the guide to that manual. And we try to follow that. Now, you can choose to live your life however you want. Now, say you don't have that. Say you don't want to be Muslim. Say you want to be something else. Say you want to just be a good person. And you say you don't want to, follow the guidelines that Islam has. Okay, let's say that. What do you do? How do you keep your peace of mind? First and foremost, you can't tell yourself, a lot of people say, I'm woke. They use this statement, I'm woke. I understand, and people come up with all types of conspiracy theories. And, they controlling your mind, brother. Everybody got all these smart things to say. And how do you, achieve that peace of mind? How do you get to that peace of mind? People say they're woke. They're intoxicating themselves. They liquoring up themselves. They smoking marijuana, doing all types of things and soiling their mind. I mean, I don't know how anybody, and I could only give you, I'm telling you from experience. I've been there. I've seen it. How in the world do you have peace of mind when you're intoxicated, your marijuana, everything, your mind is clouded. Drugs is clouding your mind. Alcohol is soiling your body. How can you keep your peace of mind with this? And then you want to talk about relationships. Let's talk about relationships. We going into relationships and we're dating, which in Islam there's no dating. There is a guided courtship through families and through specific guidelines where the family and the father and the mother and whoever it may be maybe a stepfather, maybe anybody that steps in and guides these two young people or older people. There's still some type of, you still have to have some type of help towards creating a proper family lifestyle. Not just, oh, I'm gonna date somebody for 10 months and we're gonna figure it out. And everybody's going into these marriages and everybody's, she's not respecting me. He's not. You go into the bar for 5 hours, then you come home, and you're wondering why you have a problem. She couldn't respect my time at the bar. Now, there's going to be drinking. There's going to be alcohol. I'm just offering you advice, to each his own. As you like. You could choose what you want to do, how you want to do it. I'm telling you, if you lose that, if you lose the alcohol, the drugs, if you lose it, there may be a change. There will be a change in your lifestyle. If you go about the guidelines of marriage properly before, no fornicating and no, with somebody you may not know, or you may find out, say, oh shoot, let's date for a little while. We dated for 3 years now, I want to get married. And as soon as you get married, the whole relationship's change. You went in it totally wrong. If people did not know, and I'm gonna tell you this much, because it's a capitalist society, everybody wants to capitalize off of somebody. So if people did not know that marriages were flawed, and people are going into these marriages with a backwards way of thinking, and breaking the code of humanity or the manual, not programming it properly, not programming the whole scene properly, the marriage scene properly. If people did not know that, there wouldn't be an institution of divorce. And the institution of divorce right now is almost $1 billion industry, possibly $1 billion industry, where people are making so much money, lawyers are making so much money on divorce, it's ridiculous. Because they know. They know if that man's going to cheat, that lady's going to cheat, they're going into it, they slept with each other before marriage. They had, he got a drinking problem, she got a drug problem, he got a this problem, that got a that problem. Well, we'll just sit back and pray on their, excuse me, we'll sit back and pray on our stoop and wait till they done. When they done, they going to come in my office, I'm going to charge them a whole bunch of money, I'm going to charge him a whole bunch of money, I'm going to make a whole bunch of money off of their divorce. Then they're going to go to the next person, do the same thing, and I'm going to bring them back in. Oh, you going through your second divorce? It's okay. We'll walk you through it. We'll get you through it. Don't worry about it. We'll help you through this process. We understand it's a process, and taking your money at the same time. Imagine if we conducted ourselves differently and told ourselves, let's not fornicate. Let's not do these things that may interrupt the guidelines of a proper marriage. And it's not, people have kept this long before, Islam came into existence. That marriage was a guideline. My examples that I've had, the people that I've been around and been blessed to be around, showing me how to live. I'm only here to offer advice, really. I'm not the most educated person. I do read. I do have my books here that I read, and try to, let me see right here. I got books here that I read and, gain guidance from. And I have Holy Quran that I read, but I'm only offering advice, to, maybe it's for me. Maybe it's not for you. But think about it. You got 2025 here. How fast did 2024 go? 2024 went so fast. Now you got 2025 here. How are you gonna live your life? Like I said, you know, we make all these New Year's resolutions, and by the end of 2026, we haven't achieved any of them because there's so many distractions. The first thing about keeping your peace of mind is being honest with yourself. You have to be honest with yourself. You have to tell yourself, ask yourself what you are doing. Is what you are doing getting the results that you want? And there may be something that you're doing. I'm not telling you that, Islam is always welcome. The door is always open. We're always inviting people to Islam. And people that know me know, where, a lot of people that know me know where I've been and the points of my life from younger growing up to where I'm at now. And I'm only offering advice because I seen the ugly side of life. I seen the nastiness. I seen the gutter, the ghetto, the hood. I seen it. The streets. I saw it. At that time when you in it, you loving it. You like, this is it. But you feeling some kind of way. I'm telling you, you feeling some kind of way. I know you feeling some kind of way. Because at the end of the day, once the high wears off, once the pleasure wears off, once there's nobody around you, you're like, all you got is yourself. All you got yourself. You're looking at yourself in the mirror. That's why I say, keeping your peace of mind is important to, not keeping your peace of mind. Being honest with yourself is important to keeping your peace of mind. Being honest with yourself. People wake up sometimes, and I'm going in on this intoxicants because it's what's destroying us. The Black Panther movement in the time when the Black Panthers were strong, trying to feed the people in the community, trying to uplift their community, how they were destroyed. How were they destroyed? Students of history, we all study history, and we all see, from down on down, how people were just systematically destroyed through drugs and alcohol. And you think it's not going on right now? You think there's a change? There's something different? We're not being destroyed by drugs and alcohol? All the marijuana. And I smoked at one time. I smoked marijuana at one time. A lot of it. We ain't gonna go into that story. But I'm being real with you. Everything, I'm walking down the street, every time I go somewhere, the stink smells so bad. The stench is bad, right? And you smell it, and it all smells the same. I don't understand why. Why does it all smell the same now? It used to smell different. There used to be different smells, different this, different this. Every one of them smell the same. Maybe it's because I don't smoke. Maybe because I don't smell that smell on a normal basis, but when I go out, I smell it, and it all smells the same, or has that same stench smell. You think we're not being just systematically destroyed by drugs? Why is states legalizing marijuana? Oh yeah, you can smoke. Oh yeah, it's good. Go ahead, you can smoke. But no, I'm woke, right? I'm woke. At the end of it, man, they try to destroy our people, man. They trying to, and everybody's so educated nowadays. Everybody's coming out, the reason why this, the reason why that, the reason why this. And everybody now is, professionals on the P. Diddy issue. Everybody's professionals on that. You know why they destroyed him? Because he tried to sue an alcohol company. Again, there you go. An alcohol company. Drugs and alcohol is the basis behind all of the destruction of anybody and everybody. Like it or not, accept it or not. Say it's you just saying that because you're Muslim now or you practice Islam. You just saying that because you Muslim. All those Muslims say that. As you like. To each his own. Enjoy your life. I'm a big advocate of that. Enjoy your life. Have fun. Do whatever you want to do. Do whatever you want to do. And in remembering my father, I say this all the time, and I don't know if you listen to my shows, you hear me say it all the time. Pops used to tell me all the time, know what you're doing it, know what you're doing, know why you're doing it, and be prepared to live with the consequences. So be prepared to live with the consequences of your choices. Of your choices. It's simple. Live with them or not. So I'm only here, I hope and pray that people continue to listen to the podcast. I've gotten so much support, and starting the podcast is so difficult for me to express myself in this kind of way, because when I was young, I didn't speak a lot. I was quiet, very quiet. And I said that earlier, very quiet. I didn't speak a lot. And it's difficult for me to be out on this platform sometimes. Sometimes I pull back. I tell myself, man, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this no more. I don't want to. But I see, and then I go out and I see so many people struggling. And in my day-to-day travels, I approach people normally, just from my heart, just from who I am and how I was raised and who I was raised by, and the community I was brought up around. I try to, I see somebody doing harm to themselves, I say it to them right then and there. I'm sitting there one day with my wife, and we're sitting there, and she had to explain to me about salt, eating salt and sugar, and it's going to health, eating salt and sugar. There's so many things that we eating right now. You look at a diet, you look at a package right now, and you're looking at what they high fructose corn syrup, all these things inside this food. How are we gonna keep our peace of mind with all this poison? We got drugs, we got the stuff in our food, we got everything going on. How are we gonna keep our peace of mind? So she said, you gotta stop with the salt and sugar. You stop with the salt and sugar. Stop with the salt and sugar. And I've come down a lot off the salt and sugar, and more so the salt. So I'm not using salt a lot, right? And in understanding that and what's it doing, the wonders that it's doing for my health, right? I was at a place with a brother, black, older man, definitely older than me, but he's pouring salt on his food. He's dumping it, and I'm like, man, brother, you ain't supposed to be doing that. You're not supposed to be doing that. You're not supposed to be throwing no salt on that food like that. Like, you an older gentleman, you still got a lot of wisdom to give. And what I'm not, this is just some man I'm come across. You got a lot of wisdom to give. You still got young people that look up to you. He was like, he put his head down. He put his head down and he looked at me and he put his hand on my shoulder and he said, the Almighty is speaking to me through the mouth of a stranger. Because we know. But I was talking about my eating habits with somebody and how I've developed bad eating habits, right? Through, poor neighborhoods. We grew up poor. We grew up in Brooklyn, New York, and we discovered we created bad eating habits for ourselves. Pancakes every morning, eggs with a bunch of oil, toast with a bunch of butter, oatmeal with glossy butter on the top, but it looked good. You got the raisins in it. You put the milk in it, and you got the raisins. You got the butter just glycerin on the top, and you like, and you like, you about to have some oatmeal, but it's a different style of oatmeal. You about to, you done dumped half a bag of sugar on it. You know what I'm saying? So we live poor, but we made that poor stuff taste. We destroyed the importance of maybe a good meal, because oatmeal is a good meal, but it cooked, properly, could do some, could help you health wise. So, that's a big thing too. How do we keep all these things are bases behind us keeping our peace of mind. All these things are bases behind keeping our peace of mind. And my teacher used to always tell me, he used to say, he said, and I quote, but I can't quote better than he did. So he said,
don't let anything, disturb your peace of mind. Remain calm and poised.
don't let anything break that pause. Remain, and those words of wisdom that he just shared is Always that they stick with me. They stick with me. How do you keep your peace of mind? You have to create discipline for yourself. You have to be a disciplined person, mentally and spiritually, and physically. And physically, I'm eating better, but I'm not exercising as much. And that's one of my issues. That's one of my disciplines that I have to work on because I have to change the exercise aspect of what I'm doing. I'm eating properly. Now I'm not exercising as much because I'm eating properly. So that's the human nature kicking in, that laziness, that lack of discipline. But you got to create that discipline. How you create that discipline? You tell yourself to keep good people around you, of course, always. Some people don't have good people around them. Listen to good advice. If you hear it, listen to good sound advice. It may cross your path. Maybe something I'm saying myself may stick with you, but I'm not the one that's, may the Almighty allow my words to travel and help somebody. But it's the Almighty that changes the heart of men, not people, not a person, not me, not nobody. It's the Almighty. We could just offer some little bit of advice. That's it. That's it. Then where do you go from there? What choice do you make from there? Job-wise. How do you obtain a career? Through education. You have to educate yourself. I've spent 30 years plumbing, right? 30 years plumbing, and always talked about obtaining a plumber's license, and took the test once, failed, just rescheduled the test just recently. Hopefully, I'll take it here in the next couple of months, hopefully by February, Allah willing. And inshallah, I'll pass. I hope I pass. But, we'll see when that time comes. I think I've had sufficient enough time to retain enough information on what's on the test and what I need to work on, my strong points, my weak points, and but if you want good, you have to work for it. You can't cheat your way through it. There's so many scams and anything. Everything's a scam. Everybody's scamming everybody. You want to scam your way through the top. You want to scam your way through the top. You want to pyramid scheme your way to the top and say, "Oh, I'm rich now. I pyramid schemed my way all the way up to the top." And we don't gotta go into pyramid schemes. Like I said, I don't. Excuse me. Like I said, I don't choose to talk about anything in a bad way that may be beneficial to somebody that they're using, for their benefit. To each his own. Again, always to each his own. So you got to work hard. Work hard, educate yourself, read, study. Now your chosen field, what you want to do, be proficient at it, be professional at it. Always work on your craft. You're a carpenter, study. Get the licenses. The most very important thing about having a good career is having the paperwork to back what you have done and what you say you do. If you're a doctor, you have to have that. You have to become a doctor, pass your exams and everything. You can't just say, I went to school to be a doctor, and I failed all my exams, but I'm a doctor. Maybe you are. Maybe you're a very good doctor, but you don't have, the paperwork to back it. So, I'm a plumber, 30-year plumber without a license. 30-year plumber without a license. My fault. That's my fault. I was being lazy. I'm being lazy. Now, I'm going to go into New York State. Oh, man. New York State, very interesting. Very interesting what happened to me in New York State with trying to take my exam. I do feel like I was racially profiled in New York State, but that's beside the point. Hopefully I could take my exam here now, in North Carolina, South Carolina, and they're making it, they're adhering to the process. The process that you say you got to do to get this exam taken, they're adhering to that process. New York State didn't adhere to that process. They had their own process of their own. But Yeah, the education is the important part of gaining that. You got to work hard, you know, and achieve what you. I was telling somebody, right? You know, we were talking about old companions, and we were speaking about, um, you know, if you know, man, you in the hallway in the project hallways, or you on the stoop, and you know, you roll that blunt, you smoking that blunt, you're getting high, right? And you know, you got these big hopes and dreams, right? And you sitting there, you talking, and you telling yourself, yeah, man, when I'm, we gonna make it happen, man. We gonna, we about to, you coming up with all types of, hopes and dreams that you have to make it happen, and a lot of guys having it, a lot of guys you knew didn't achieve that. You look back and you say, man, where's this guy at? I remember when you know, yeah, I remember in '89, or I remember in '91, or I remember in '96, or I remember in '95. We was on that steps, and we were our minds were soiled, our minds was interrupted, and we had these big hopes and dreams and these things that we said we were going to do, and some people achieved them, some people didn't. You know, but it comes with discipline. It comes with learning how to discipline yourself. Remove that intoxicants. Remove that. Remove the distraction, because the distraction is what's not creating a discipline for us. It's not helping us. It's not helping us. And you could say, man, what's Ismail talking about? What am I talking about? What am I talking about? Be honest with yourself. Is what you doing anything and everything? I try to be honest with myself. I just said, I'm not exercising properly. I didn't do enough to take the test in a timely fashion. I was lazy about it. I was scared. I'm afraid to take tests. I'm not a very good test taker. Be honest with yourself. Where am I going in 2025? Where am I going in 2025? How am I going to get there? What's the road I'm going to take? Just told somebody else. Journaling is journaling. Excellent. I got one journal here. I got, let's see, what else I got? I got another journal here. There's two journals. That's already two books. And then this for, I don't know, nothing I remember, it's for my birthday. My kids bought me a book, right? My kids bought me a book. And I guess my kids want to know. And it made me feel some kind of way. It made me feel, wow, man, my kids want to know so they bought me this book, right? And this is the book my kids bought me. And they said, as long as you, every day, Pops, man, put something in the book. So I've been writing in the book. I've been putting something in the pages. And, I don't know. Maybe I may give it to them, when I'm done. They asked for it when I'm done. They said, Pops, can we have it when you finished? We'll see. I'm gonna be as honest as I can. I'm gonna be as honest as I can in that book, man. They don't need to know everything. They can know some things. I could be as honest as I can, but some stuff, I might keep to myself. Some stuff I may keep to myself. But man, I just we got through another year. This next up and coming podcast year, 2025, is my 50th year. We're really going to go into depth about how to keep your peace of mind, your mental stability, your financial stability, your relationship stability, and it is going to be up to individuals, man, to make the choices on their own. It's going to be up to them to make the choices on their own, what they're going to do and how they're going to live 2025 and beyond. No, we don't know if we're promised the next day, but you still got to live. You still got to plan. Again, Pops, man, which I miss him, his wisdom that he given for, throughout my life, And he said the Almighty Allah says, he plans, but, we plan, but he plans, and his plans are better. And but he used to remind me, son, in that guidance that the Almighty gave you, the important part about it is that you have to plan. You have to plan. Okay, tomorrow may not be promising. Some people live that way. Oh man, I don't. Tomorrow's not. Hey, but you still got to plan. So you got to make plans. And again, be honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself. I don't have any New Year's resolutions. I don't. But I do think that I do feel like, and I've told this, not think and feel. Forgive me for using those terminologies. It's just simple do. We're not going to speak it into existence. We're not going to, there's a point where you have to, get beyond the planning stage. Some people say plan, some people have been planning for 5 years. It's about the execution. It's been about the execution, about everything you say you were going to do or you are trying to achieve. It's about your execution now. It's about execution and everything you got going on. If it's positive, execute it. If you don't want to be Muslim, live your life properly. Live your life, with there's so many people that aren't Muslim that don't drink and don't get high, and, live a healthy life and have healthy relationships, that don't fornicate before marriage, that don't spend their hours in bars before they go home. There's so many people that aren't Muslim that do that. That's not just a Muslim thing. That's a basic life existence thing. That's existence of life. That's good life. That's good living. It's simple good living. Simply. That's all it is. I choose to live in the best way I can. And the best way I can is to move these distractions, these things from my life, because we done said it 20 million times over. If you can disagree with me that drugs has been the destruction of so many communities and races of people, then maybe you not. I don't know. You want to disagree with me? Disagree with me. But it's a fact. You can Google it how many times you want to Google it. It's a fact. You can speak to people personally. It's a fact. So here we are in 2025. I hope we all achieve, the things that we want to. I hope y'all continue to listen to the People's Podcast. Please continue to listen to the People's Podcast. Please share the People's Podcast. Like and share on YouTube. Like and subscribe. Our subscribers are low, but, the views are up. Why? Subscribe. Show support to the podcast. Because we're going to keep going. We're not going to stop. I started a youth program one time, and I told myself, it didn't get off the ground. It was in Binghamton, New York. It didn't get off the ground like I wanted it to, but I told myself if I touch it, and I felt like I touched one kid's life, and this young man is doing very well, and I hope, I had this much to do with it. I pray I had that much to do with it. But, I said I'm going to start this program. I didn't get a lot of notice about a lot of people didn't come. The second year, a lot of kids came. And the plumbing company that I was working for was generous enough to allow me to use his office to teach the class in. It was a plumbing class that I was given. And I told myself the first year, I said, if one kid comes, I'm going to do this class. I don't care if I'm sitting here with one kid for 2 hours. If one kid comes, I'm going to do this class. And that's what I did. One kid came, then 2 kids came, and the second kid didn't come back, and that one kid, then the next year, I had about 5 or 6 kids in there. I was like, man, and I was teaching this class, man. We did a project after that. It didn't get off the ground like I wanted it to. I ended up, moving around and changing my location and doing other things with my life. But that's something that I'm passionate about, helping the youth. Obtain this license and maybe teach another class or build it up somewhere else. Again, it's about the execution. It's not about, oh, what I want to do. It's about the execution. And being honest with yourself. Is it a goal that you can reach? Is this something that you can do? Is this something for you? Everybody's not going to be able to put down the things that they're doing. Everybody's not going to stop having, I'm not saying, oh, all of a sudden, everybody's going to stop having, relationships with men and women before they get married. No, it's going to go on. The industry of divorce is going to still go on. I mean, it's going to still make millions of dollars. It's still going to happen. I understand that. But if you listen to the podcast, and something may hit your heart, may the Almighty allow something to hit your heart, to change your direction, to tell you maybe what this gentleman said is correct. Maybe I can, reevaluate the things that I'm doing, because I'm looking in the mirror right now at myself. Is what I'm doing beneficial for me? Has it changed anything that I'm doing in any kind of way? Do I feel different? Does my heart feel different? I still have the same pains and worries that I had. Maybe I'm making more money. Maybe I'm living my best life. I'm smiling, I'm on vacation. But I'm by myself and I'm looking in this mirror, my head hurts, my heart hurts. I'm lonely, I'm sad. I'm my mind is fogged, I'm confused. I don't know which way to turn. I need counseling. I need this. I need that. I need support. And humans need positive reinforcement. That's a must. Positive reinforcement is a must. You got to give people positive reinforcement. If you're a person that is a doer, and you're around others that's semi-do, but you like the companions that you have. Show them your support. Give them positive reinforcement. Maybe they need that nudge or that push, to get them over the hump. You never know. Never know what you could do for an individual. Just be that kind person, sincerely, and offer it. If you hear it, offer it. If you see it, offer it. If you know it, do it. And if you don't want to, don't. Make your choice. Live with it. Thank you for listening to the People's Podcast. 2025, I pray that, we have a good season with the podcast. I pray people have a good 2025. I think it's going to be a good year. I have a feeling it's going to be a good year for a lot of people. Test and struggle is going to always be there. Ups and downs are going to always be there. But make it a positive year. Make it a positive year. And if this message has touched you, or this podcast, a particular podcast has touched your heart, come to Islam if you want to. Come to Islam if you want to. We welcome you. Come join us. And join us all. And if not, join humanity in living right. That's it. It's that simple. It's that simple. I thank you for listening. The People's Podcast, you can find on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, on YouTube. Just like and subscribe on YouTube. But we thank you for listening to People's Podcast. I'm Ismail Shahid. Assalamu alaikum.